Hey, what's going on, you guys? How y'all doing? Welcome back. Hey, good morning, Friday. Oh, it's the weekend, man. I think it's Gilliam, somebody, Andrew Gilliam. But anyway, this brother, we're gonna listen to them talk about the Trump, and just listen to how Angela spirals out of control, man, as she always does. All right. So you guys, let's go ahead and get into this video, man. Listen to this nonsense. Here we go.
My wig done. I want to say there's so much about this. Tip, you brought this up before the break. That's not normal. And one of the frustrations that I'm hearing percolate quite a bit is if the Democratic candidate and the campaign.
And this is from Pink Book Lessons, you guys. So shout out to Pink Book.
Donald Trump being a fascist. Why is it that after he's won the election, he's no longer being treated as a fascist?
Because they never believed it in the first place.
That part.
It was only a talking point they gave you to repeat over and over to control the minds of Black people and people of color.
Exactly.
So once again, the white liberals play you, Angela, and you're so emotional and easy to control. That's why they hand you over thoughts and convince you that you thought of it all by yourself, because you're just so brilliant,
Exactly. And I said the same thing. It's like, if he's such a bad person, why ain't nobody out here acting a fool that he made it? Since he was, everybody say he's a fascist and he's like Hitler, but everybody now is going on about their normal lives like it ain't nothing. Let's keep it moving.
You is small. You is important.
Look at Angela.
She's stupid.
She's been literally crying and weeping for over 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yes, right along with the other Miss Andrews on the show, Tiffany. They both admitted they cried for days after their curry queen got stumped out in every swing state. Right now, Angela is experiencing a different stage of grief. She's not crying anymore, but now she's just bitter and angry, taking her anger out on folks on the show and anybody else that's not in 100% agreement. I mean, look at this lady, super whacked out. Take a look.
Case in point was Joe Biden meeting with him.
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm doing good today. I hope y'all having a pleasant morning.
Is for a peaceful transition of power. Kamala Harris in her concession speech talked about a peaceful transition of power. But how do you have a peaceful transition with someone who actually isn't so peaceful? Ensures that there is some transitional things that happen. Most of it come from an entity called the GSA, the General Services Agency in the federal government, and actually don't have much to do with the pageantry that happens in the Oval Office. Now, they say that an incumbent president has 3 responsibilities. 1 is the law, 2 is precedent, and 3 is goodwill. But I want to know how far goodwill should go. Should he be meeting with Donald Trump in the Oval Office for a peaceful transition of power? Is that a way to neutralize some of what is to come? I actually don't like it, y'all. Maybe I'm just out here. Maybe I'm Andrew. I know you're the resident diplomat among us, and you may see it differently.
And Angela, you're the resident 10-year-old on the show. Folks, Angela is a middle-aged woman racing towards 50 with the emotional intelligence of a 2-year-old. She didn't like that Kamala mentioned a peaceful transition of power in her concession speech, and she didn't agree with Biden either, who expressed the same sentiment. Kamala is out here on vacation in Hawaii, toasting up to her commission on that $1.5 billion that they finessed.
So this what kills me. They don't want a peaceful transition. Angela Rye is mad because Kamala said they're going to have a peaceful transition. However, these are the same people that was acting a fool during the January 6th insurrection, whatever they want to call it, when Biden came in office, right? They got mad because they in their minds they perceived that Trump incited an insurrection, but they're sitting up here now saying that they don't want a peaceful transfer of power. You can't make this shit up. Come on, let's keep it moving.
Part-time, waiting on his vacation too. Look, people said, I'm moving on. Maya, they're obviously over it. So why don't you move on too, Angela? Get a grief counselor.
Thank you.
But it actually really grinds my gears that this is something that we double, triple, quadruple down on. I really believe this man is a fascist and a racist and a bigot, and he's a xenophobic person, and he, you know, all of those things.
Angela, they scammed you, girl.
Yep.
And the biggest person that scammed you was Kamala Harris.
Yep.
Kamala didn't believe any of that either.
Nope.
She just played puppets like you to repeat their talking points, you know, and fight for her on the playground. So she didn't have to get her own hair messed up or her clothes dirty. Listen, you got bamboozled, Angela. They used you to sling mud and get more wrinkles being mad, while Kamala sat back with her face and her neck mask on.
And they don't see it.
Cucumber water with Doug.
And not to just label him, but these are the things that we say based on the words that have come out of his mouth. So why is there the pageantry in the Oval?
Two quick things. One, I think Joe Biden, having wrested so much of his rebirth in his run for presidency, and even Kamala through the prosecuting of the case around why Donald Trump is unfit to serve in the office again, they were rightly trying to ring the alarm, sound the alarm, treat him as not normal, as a pariah in many ways. But once the people have spoken, once voters have decided, and in this way, you know, in a relatively convincing way in modern politics, given the spread, it is incumbent upon the existing leadership to, in my opinion, hold with its traditions and its norms. And quite frankly, it's been done. Hillary Clinton sat there as the opponent of Donald Trump, but as a former first lady and wife to President Bill Clinton, in hair distance to Donald Trump as he took the oath of office. I can't imagine what this woman wanted to do, snatch his hair, hers, and everybody else's. But that's not what we do in democratic societies. And as frustrating as it is, it will frustrate me to have to see Michelle and Barack Obama and Bill and Hillary Clinton and even the Bushes, even though George Bush stayed silent in this cycle, but they will sit on that platform and that podium, and they will demonstrate not only to Americans, but to the rest of the world that what mature, sophisticated, democratic societies do is they have peaceful transfers of power, the passing of leadership from one party to the other. And I know I'm a traditionalist in this way, but I do believe the optics are important to communicate. It was fine to treat him as a pariah and call him every name under the child of God, up until the point that voters decided that they wanted him to be their president again. And at that point, he is entitled to the rights, privileges, customs, and obviously the legal justifications for his acts as president.
Andrew's response was probably the most level-headed on the show, but let me make 2 points. One, as much as y'all don't want to see it, you helped Trump get elected. Their show, along with most of the shows in mainstream media and traditional media, from radio to newspapers, television, everywhere, y'all covered Donald Trump so much, you gave him more press than anyone could ever buy.
Yep.
You thought that crapping on him 24/7 was going to hurt him? Well, it backfired.
It helped.
The more and more y'all talked about him, the more people started looking for themselves. And the other point about the whole democracy thing.
Yeah, it's like, you know, y'all sat up here, didn't talk about what you wanted to do. Y'all just kept putting every blame on Trump, telling everybody how bad he is. So when people go to see what you're talking about, guess what? Now they're listening to Trump, they're seeing him, and they're like, well, no, these Democrats are lying. You know what I'm saying? They're seeing that none of what you're saying is true. So now they're listening to Trump, they're doing more research, and they're like, oh, well, hell, fuck what they saying. You know, I'm finna lean this way. And that's what y'all did. Y'all gave more people, y'all pushed more people to view his side, to listen to what he had to say, and they liked it. But then when they looked at what the Democrats were saying, all they heard was Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. They didn't hear nothing else.
Americans realized that was complete BS by the time y'all staged that coup on Biden, then propped up this lady as a nominee with no primary. And all three of y'all went along with it.
All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
When you supported Kamala Harris, knowing good doggone well nobody voted for her.
Right.
So repeating threat to democracy like a broken record only made people like you, Angela, like Charlemagne the God, look like complete fools considering the biggest threat to democracy was installing that lady in the first place and not giving we the people the opportunity to choose who wanted to nominate.
Right.
You know, to do what Trump did and act like a kid on
But we
a
know
tangent.
how he's going to
Not sure
act,
what.
so why are we trying to be normal? I
You
guess
don't
that's my
know.
question.
You don't
No,
know.
I
Came after George Bush, and he was against everything this man
No,
stood
no, no,
for,
no, no, no.
right?
This man is an actual fascist who said that once he's elected, there will not be another election. So why are they sitting down with him in the Oval Office for a peaceful transition of power to not democracy? Why are we sitting down to have a peaceful transition of power to fascism? Why?
You hear that? So she wants a fight. She wanted to be confrontation. But like I said, back in January the 6th of 2020, it was 2021 actually, the inauguration day. They was acting a goddamn fool. But talking about Trump inciting a riot. But now here she's talking about why should it be a peaceful transition?
All right, well, Andrew, I gotta tell you, I completely disagree. Yes, yes. Well, this kind of shifts us to what Angela wanted to talk about, but I'm going to tell you why. We had brunch after the election, and one of our friends said that Democrats keep running change candidates and Republicans keep running change the rule candidates.
And that's why you disagree. She said after the election, she went out to brunch with some of her friends in DC somewhere talking about the election. I'm assuming she was with her boule friends.
Yep.
Tiffany,
You know she was.
the people who decided this election, isn't that your boule brunching and luncheons? So as long as you're running with people like that, y'all have the same mindset, you're always going to disagree with rational thinking.
And I
Yep.
think that's what we have here. And I want to talk about why I don't accept that, well, that's the way it's done, and now it's time to, hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Not that you're saying that, but even the whole, imagery to the globe of, yes, we've accepted this and we're turning the keys over to this man.
Tiffany and Angela are both delusional. Talking
Yep.
about what they accept and what they don't accept.
Yep.
Neither one of you have the power to do anything about
Nothing,
it. What are you going to
nothing.
do?
But
Go
cry.
down to the White House and stand in front of the gate so Donald Trump can't get in? They sound silly.
Just go
It's
cry.
two middle-aged women. Look at Angela, just straight up bitter. She's trying so hard to be a mad black woman. I always want to know, Angela, why you mess up your life like this? You didn't have to be mad, miserable, and crying at night. You could have been an angel with more peace. See, this is what spoiled, entitled, and never had a real struggle on.
They choose violence. That's all it is. They choose the violence. That's why.
Clearly talking about 45-year-old women crying over politics.
To accept that, well, this is what it is, and he has to welcome him into the White House. This is a man, the media has normalized it, but I think as people who look like us in our community, I think they depend on us to be able to see through the bullshit.
These people are so full of it. Arthur's little sister BW and BJ little sister Baby Bob, also known as Tiffany and Angela, really believes that black people are waiting on them to come and explain or interpret for us what we can see on our own. Girl, we don't need you to tell us nothing. No, we don't need any of your Baby Bob bimbo babble.
And despite the media treating this man like, oh, well, he says he's going to appoint somebody who wants to kill the Department of Education. What do you think about that? Instead of, oh my God, what does this? I don't really care what pundits think about killing the Department of Education. You as a reporter, you as a journalist.
The Department of Education should be killed. Put it back in the hands of the states.
I'd rather you talk to us about the real live ass consequences that will have on the
That's
American people.
We agree, but those are two separate things.
They
No,
are, Andrew,
they
but
never
you're saying, but part of what you're saying suggests that this is all normal.
Well,
But
don't
part
let
of
me
what, Okay, well,
suggest
clarify.
anything,
Let me
'cause I
know.
can say
Let me
say things.
Well,
so,
say it more clearly, because that's what it sounds like to me too, please.
No. So ceremony is one thing. These are ceremonies that have been cultivated over a period of time that don't ignore any approval to this man's agenda. It doesn't rubber stamp, sign off on, or agree with Elon Musk being not just a gatekeeper, watchkeeper, but nowhere near the government of the United
Would
States in
they
any
have
capacity.
Osama bin
So-
Laden
so
sitting
what-
down in the Oval
what?
Office with the president?
Listen,
Would they have had
Osama
Osama
bin
bin
Laden,
Laden
if
in the
Osama bin
Oval
Laden were
Office sitting
elected,
down with the president?
This is such a
What?
good argument.
She's stupid.
Angela, if Osama won and he was president-elect, not only will he be sitting in the Oval
Exactly,
Office
exactly.
with the current president, but in a few weeks, he'll be in office himself.
Thank
She's
you.
so delusional.
She's stupid.
These bad faith arguments ain't know nothing. And Angela, yelling louder won't make her point valid.
Nope.
Well, can I just
Osama
make
bin
point
He's
out
a
a point?
terrorist. This man is a terrorist.
Guys, this is
I'm
that's not
sorry.
the point. All I'm saying is we can go off the
It is the point. It is absolutely the
point.
You cannot have a rational conversation with these women. This brother is trying to, but you can't. You just can't. Too emotional. They are too emotional.
Hear what you have to say, Andrew.
You can go
I'm
off
not off
the
the
cliff
cliff.
and never,
The country's
ever,
off the
ever
cliff.
get our attention. You
That's
can,
where
you can,
we
No, that
are.
is
Oh,
not where we
God.
are. Because we
Andrew
haven't
and Gary
begun to-
Clippy, he said
So
this was the last
but Angela,
election.
She's the one having a complete meltdown,
Yep.
but she says she's not crazy. It's the rest of the country that's crazy. People, this is what it looks like. They have zero self-awareness.
Yep.
Angela, you are smart. However, your wisdom does not supplant that of all of the American people who went out and voted. And unfortunately, I've had to subject myself to the same damn thing. You don't think I'm hurt? I felt awful. I felt humiliated.
questioning your pain, brother.
I'm going to finish my point. And ashamed that I had to call a guy and who I don't respect, who I don't like, and anything else, and concede a race for governor. No, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to Kamala either. She had warned the country of what a fascist looked like, and it was him in standing for him. Yet she picked up the phone, she made the call, because that's what mature democracies do. Now, two things. We don't want to conflate two different things. Do you think Kamala Harris is rubber stamped and signed off on his policies?
I didn't even talk about her. I
No, you
said
didn't
the
name check her,
Oval
but it is
Office. No,
important.
I didn't even bring up her
This
concession
is
call.
why, but you didn't,
I didn't.
but I did.
I did not.
You
And
did
I'm
not.
saying
You
I
did
asked
not,
the question
Angela, but I
about
did.
the Presidential
If I could
Transition
say
Act of
why.
1963
If I
and
could
the
say
Oval
why.
Office meeting not being statutorily required.
Again,
That is
Andrew,
a
finish your
different
point. Finish your point.
conversation.
Because you're
No,
talking about
because
the
I don't want to be. I don't want to be labeled as saying something else. I didn't say
But
anything
I
about your
keep
concession
saying
call. I
something
didn't say
else.
anything
But
about his
I think
concession
Andrew's
call.
making a different point. So Andrew,
And I'm
finish
saying
your
it's
point.
not okay to say that I essentially
but you can
suggested
you can
that when you didn't want to have
you can
anything
assign
suggested to you either.
you can assign me saying that the president should attend inauguration and host the incoming president at the White House as being a rubber stamp of Elon Musk. I never said that.
I did
but you
not
inserted
say
it.
anything
So let
about
me get
Elon
back to the
Musk.
point, though.
That
Let
was
me get back
me.
to the point
You
if I
did.
could.
One of y'all did.
The point is, we can still disagree with this man vehemently, and the fight still remains. Him sitting down for an hour-long coffee is not what we are really taking issue with. What we are really going to be taking issue with is when he starts lining people up and marching them out of this country. When he comes in my neighborhood, for my children, for my family, for my way of life.
And that's not going to happen. Why do they go to the worst case scenarios, right? That's not going to happen. You know, he's talking about getting rid of the illegal immigrants, right? Now, Andrew Gillum, I don't think you're an illegal immigrant, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't think you came across the border and, you know, they just gave you everything that they gave you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I said, they always go to the worst case. Nobody's coming for you, bro.
Are the fights that we have to gear up, and to bring us back to what the question was, it was how we are going to strategize around our fight back against this man.
Andrew, just stop the nonsense. Your family ain't getting marched out nowhere. You're
Exactly.
a citizen, your wife is a
Exactly.
citizen, and all of your children are citizens. You are not an illegal immigrant, so you're not facing deportation.
Idiots.
I just wish all of them, Andrew, Angela, Tiffany, would stump this hard for the issues the black grassroots really cared about.
Thank
Because
you.
we don't
Thank
care about
you.
Kamala. No, we also don't care about your Trump meltdowns. We don't care about any of this y'all talking about. And y'all know what we care about, but you refuse to even speak on it. You care more about your hatred for Trump and standing up for other groups.
Ain't none of them talking about that bullshit order that damn, Biden told who's that, Zelensky, that they could use them damn missiles that's got United States stamped all over them to fire off into Russia. They ain't talking about that, but they crashing out over this goddamn election.
Actually want and meet as a community.
That wasn't an issue. Certain norms, some things when things are not normal, norms go out the window. And I appreciate your perspective. I am not saying, nor have I ever said, that my wisdom, my knowledge, my limited experience takes every single voter, the millions of people that voted for Donald Trump, or the millions of people that voted for Kamala Harris. I'm not trying to supplant any of that. What I'm saying is, there comes a time where we have to question the pageantry and determine if the pageantry is worth our credibility. That is what I'm asking.
Angela, at some point there comes a time when you have to question yourself and determine if your pageantry before the Democrat Party for those consulting checks is worth your credibility.
Right.
And honestly, you already lost all your credibility.
Yep.
The little you did have about 6 years ago, but
Yep.
now it's over for you. Nobody's listening to you that can actually make a difference.
If we have said this man is a fascist, if we have said democracy is on the line, if we have said the things that we know and have relied upon for government support and programming will be no more, and we throw all of that out the window so that Joe Biden can skin and grin in a meeting with this man who is mugging the camera, he's still in character.
But do
But
you
we're
think
gonna have
Joe
that
Biden?
meeting?
Do you think Joe Biden
I'm not
wants to
talking
have to
about
sit
what he
there?
wanted to do. I'm talking about what he did.
But what he
It
did,
ain't about what he wanted to do. It's about what he
did was demonstrate not Joe Biden's personal will toward Donald Trump, but the will and the graciousness and the magnanimity of the office of president. And just because
That-
one derelict, Donald Trump, has no respect for democracies and our norms, that we are then equal by abandoning them right along with
But
them.
that's what they
I
want.
answer that if you took an oath.
But that's what they want. They want to see chaos. They want to see people up in that office acting a damn fool. They would rather Biden not meet with him and just sit up on the podium and talk shit than just be diplomatic and, you know, say, hey, welcome into the office. You know what I'm saying? They don't want a peaceful transition. They don't. They want chaos. They're, like I said, they'll rather see the bullshit. They'd rather see the drama, you know what I'm saying, versus, you know, a peaceful transition. That's what they want. They want chaos.
Us to pull up the presidential oath.
Well,
Because I think that it's actually a violation of the presidential oath to sit down and meet with this man.
I think that's an opinion, but I think
It is my opinion. I said I think.
Yeah, Angela, I hear you. Number one.
Okay.
Angela still robbery is a whole ding dong. How is it against the presidential oath to sit in the same hole with another president who took the same oath?
Right.
Listen, Democrats, y'all got to get rid of these old shields. They're not effective at all anymore. They've gone complete nuts and lost all common sense. I'm telling you, Democrats, if you keep throwing crumbs at a bunch of lunatics, everybody is going to continue to run away from your insane asylum.
I'm just saying, there's no need to shout. I hear you, and
I
nobody is
understand that
attacking you.
I understand. I don't feel attacked, and I'm not attacking any of
think
y'all.
it's
My volume is my
charged, guys.
passion.
Okay, I just want us all to have like a
Directed at
mature
you.
exchange
I
of
am
everything.
mature.
Because right
I am
now,
also passionate. It's
Okay.
mature passion.
I have siphoned off on
Mature
occasion.
passion.
Angela, you siphoned off on occasion. Tiffany, you will siphon off on an occasion because this is a highly charged moment.
Yeah,
and I
it's
understand
right.
all of us are.
It's
all
normal.
of us have strong opinions about how we feel.
I just want
about
us to
this
be
thing.
respectful to each other's point.
Agreed.
Andrew, I hear your
Agreed.
point. Angela, I hear your point. I have
And I'll
something
back off. It's you.
I
Please.
have something to say about both. Andrew, when you're talking about the pageantry of it, I do appreciate your perspective in maturity, because that is not something that we saw in Donald Trump. You know, I mean, it was giving very much Meghan McCain on view all the time, where he would throw a temper tantrum in front of a microphone, even for post the election. That is a challenge. Angela asked a question that I think deserves a deeper answer to, and she was saying, would we invite the Taliban in the Oval Office? Well, this just shows how the media and other people normalize what this man did, because he did in fact invite the Taliban to Camp David.
All I can say is keep it up. Y'all had like 15, 20 people that didn't even show up for y'all.
Oh,
I heard a
man.
bunch of people sat at home, and this is why. You have a lot of surrogates that don't know what they're talking about, and you're asking them to force us to care about what y'all want us to care about versus the real issues we actually care about. Yeah, if y'all want to keep losing and crying, keep it up.
How that normalize the fascism we're about to be confronted with. So I gotta say, I agree with Angela that we should at least pose this question. Just because it's been done all this time, why does that mean it should continue to be done?
So
I
these
don't
sore
know that
losers.
it should be at this point. I think this
I
is beyond.
agree.
There should be a piece,
Oh, let it keep going. Let it keep going.
but I think this is going beyond a peaceful transition of power.
Kind of like how the Democrats need to stop sending y'all out here to speak to us.
Yeah.
You know, just because they always pay y'all to come talk to us doesn't mean they should keep doing it, right?
Right,
Listen,
exactly.
hang it up. Black folks with sense are not listening to you. You are ineffective. Point.
Oh,
They
shit.
still won't listen to anybody not in agreement. They just keep talking and talking like they know
Right.
what they're talking about when all of their strategies failed. You don't know what you're talking about.
They
That's
don't.
why you continue to lose. They still think they know it all. And somehow everybody else is just dumb. Angela, look in the mirror. Surrogates like you are the problem. You are tied and through. After all these years of crashing out for these people, getting on TV, getting on the radio, misleading Black people,
Mhm.
it's over for you. And not just
You're done, Angela. You're done. But yeah, you guys, man. Oh, this is a trip. But I've said this before. Like what you heard on here, Angela and whoever the other girl, I think it was, I forgot her damn last name. Anyway, but they want chaos. They don't want a peaceful transition. They're questioning that. And I've said this before. The Democrats, they just want a dictatorship, but they want the dictatorship to be them. They want the Democrats to be a dictatorship. So they keep saying Trump is going to be a dictator, but they would rather be on the Democratic side. They don't want the Republicans to be, you know what I'm saying? Now, if Trump get in office, he's a dictator, he's bad. Now, if the Democrats get in office and they do a dictatorship, then that's good. That's all they want. They want the Democrats to be the dictators. That's all it is. But you guys, let me know what y'all think of the video and how Angela Rye and the rest of these folks the other girl was on here crashing out. Drop some comments down below. You guys, please be good to yourselves. By all means, let's be good to one another. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.